All right. Should be rolling now. Let me yeah, we should be good. Everything's looking good. Welcome back, everybody. If you're tuning in for the first time in a while, welcome back. If you were here last week, welcome back. If you're here for the first time, welcome in general. Appreciate you being here. Welcome, welcome. All right, so we're trying out some scuffed audio tonight. I'm gonna try and talk very quietly. I did do a little bit of an audio test before stream. Should be fine, but hey, you know what? I'll do my best not to yell at you, I guess is what I'm saying. Oh, man. Appreciate you guys being here. Thank you. If you are here, please feel free to drop in the chat. Let me know that you're here. Say hello. I'm watching the chat right this moment. Make sure we turn on the live chat instead of the top chat. Kendall, evening. Good to see you. Good to see you. Appreciate you taking time out of your day to hang out with the community. All right, let's slap this over here, that over. Whoops. I think we're gonna go ahead and do. I love Stream Beats Rock, but it just doesn't quite work for background music. For like a chill stream, it just doesn't. I need lo-fi. We're going back to lo-fi, boys. We're going back to lo-fi. That's just where it's at for me, man. That is just where it's at. So normally I have the microphone off camera. It's not normally just chilling literally right next to me. But unfortunately, short version, little apparatus that I use to connect this mic to my microphone stand that I have, it broke literally while I was setting it up. So I'm like, well, got to do something. It was either put it right here or like all the way over where you guys are at, which is more than an arm's length away. So I figured this would be the better of the alternatives. So, but yeah, man, appreciate y'all being here for real. Thank you. I got my new Gamer Sups flavors today. I haven't tried the brand new one yet. I placed the order I think like a couple days before they launched the new flavor. I'm excited to try that though. The flavor I'm drinking tonight is Mango Meta. If you guys want to try out Gamer Sups, I'm not sponsored or affiliated with them, but I do have a good friend of mine that I don't know well, but I would call him friend, Bearded Luke. And it's not just because he's bearded that we are friends, just to be clear. He has a code I would encourage you guys to use. It does support him, as I understand it. So if you guys haven't liked the stream already, please feel free, not deal free, but feel free to do that. I'd appreciate it. And man, listen, if you don't like the stream, you can condemn it to the dislike. That's okay. I'll still love you. I will still love you. But tonight is going to be a more relaxed evening. I'm going to catch up with you guys, let you guys know a little bit of a progress report on getting out of debt. As many of you know, I launched a merch line that was intended to be a limited time thing. I'm starting to think I may not leave it as a limited time thing, just because I don't believe we've had too many orders. I think the orders that I've had are my grandma, my girlfriend, and me, which I think is really cool, though. That's still 2 orders that wouldn't happen if I hadn't placed them. Well, technically 3, but I don't make any money from ordering my own merch. I'm sure you figured that out. But I could actually look really quick. I haven't looked in the last little while to see if anybody has bought anything, but I don't think so. And again, it's not that I'm trying to pressure you guys into it. I'm just thinking I'll probably make it a permanent merch release rather than a like limited time one, if that makes sense. So yeah, it's just been those orders, which is fine. Again, no complaints from me, man. But if you're here right now and you haven't said hello in chat, please do that. I love to get to know who's here and who comes out, who just takes the time out of their day, even if it is just to set up a lurk or whatever, man. I do appreciate y'all for real. The live streams have become more and more about just engaging the community and just chatting with you guys and really just hanging out. I think that a lot of content creators, myself included, undervalue just chatting with your community. I think that's super important regardless of what platform you're on. The community, you guys, you tune in to hang out with me and with the community. And when I'm playing video games, as much as I can, play a video game that encourages conversation, it's not the same as just having a straight up conversation. You know what I mean? So stream time has moved. Let's just go ahead and get right into it real quick. Let's get all the housekeeping crap out of the way. Stream time has moved, hopefully for the last time. 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Central Time is going to be the more official time that I will be live streaming. And the reason that is because I just recently got a promotion at my job, for those of you that don't know already. And with that, they moved me to a different branch last week, and I'm off at 4:30 instead of 4:15. I'm also a little bit further away from my apartment than I was at the prior branch, where I was off at 4:15. So overall, instead of being available at 5:30 pretty reasonably, I'm much more reasonably available at 6. So it makes it to where I don't have to rush. I can get home, get settled, get a thumbnail captured, create something a little bit more engaging, and make sure I have kind of my thoughts in order and it's not as scrambled. So anyway, that's that. Let me give you guys a quick update on the progress as far as paying off debt and those kinds of things. The status bar up top here, you guys can see that is still up to date. We've, between you guys and myself, by selling a bunch of things and doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes, I have been able to pay off a fair amount of the debt, and I'm really grateful for that. I am very, very grateful for that. I am currently going to be working on selling the car. My car is worth, at full retail price, if I sell it, it's worth 12 grand. For those of you that don't know, nearly no one, almost no one pays full retail for any car anymore. They want the best deal, and I respect that. So I will be aggressively selling it once the stimulus and or my federal income tax refund hits my account. Todd, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Appreciate you tuning in, man. Thanks for taking the time. I do appreciate it. I will basically, once either of those two amounts hits my checking account, I'm going to start aggressively trying to sell the car. At worst case scenario, I'll take it to a dealership and trade it in. Trade-in value is 10 grand, which, I mean, would leave me paying quite a bit of that debt still in cash. But if I do end up doing that, a dealership can buy the car for, 10 grand, and that's, they'll still be able to make a good amount of money on selling it. And it's a good car. They will sell it. It's not even an issue. And then I'm planning on buying a car with cash, whatever cash I have left after that. And that'll put me out of debt with probably some $1,000 to maybe $2,000, depending on how life goes in the next couple of weeks. It'll put me in $1,000 to $2,000 car for the foreseeable future, which I don't have any issue with at all. I think that if you play your cards right, you can find a fairly reliable car for that price point. So I'm going to be working on that. Hopefully stimulus and or federal tax return will hit next week. I filed my taxes the day they opened. So the day they opened it up at the IRS, so February 12th. However, I guess there's been about a 2-week delay on some federal tax returns. I guess the IRS had some big error that they had to basically go back and redo several. So I'm assuming I'm included in that because I just haven't seen any deposits yet. But we'll see. So I just wanted to let you guys know that's kind of what I'm doing. Once I am out of debt, all my financial goals will be private. There'll be things that I don't really talk about on stream after that, because financial goals are great, but that's not the stuff that I really want to talk about on stream. I don't mind sharing when I'm working on creating stability in my life and allowing you guys to be a part of that. But I don't want you guys to feel like you're somehow obligated, you know what I mean, to be a part of that, because you're not. Never have been, never will be. I'm always blessed by those who choose to help. But man, I'm just blessed by those who tune in and hang out, watch the content, consume the videos, chat in the conversations, man. So it's been really good. But that's, as far as I'm aware, that's the biggest update I can give you guys right now. Once I have some more news on the car stuff, I'm sure that I will create a video on why I went from a 2017 Ford Fiesta fully loaded to a $1,000 car, whatever that ends up being. So, but that's what's going on. So I've got another 6 months left in my lease at this apartment. For those of you that don't know, this studio, I live in a studio apartment. That's why you see like my bed behind me and stuff. I don't have like a 1-bedroom even. It's a studio. For those of you that don't know, in the apartment world, a studio apartment is no bedroom. Your bedroom and living room are essentially combined. So I have this big space behind me. The wall's directly behind the camera on the other side of the room. So there's this large space behind me for a living room / bedroom / office. And then I've got over here to my left, I think it'll be camera right. I think that's correct. Anyway, that direction. I've got a washer dryer hookup over there with my washer and dryer in that area. And then I've got a kitchen, which is a fairly decently sized kitchen for a studio, and then a bathroom with a shower and a bath, obviously bathtub. So the biggest issue that I have with this place is that compared to the market that I'm seeing, I could find an apartment that was actually a full bedroom for approximately $100 less a month overall, including all the amenities that this one has and stuff, like really, really comparing apples to apples. And I'm like, the whole point of me getting into this apartment was to avoid a bunch of the cancellation fees from the prior apartment where my now ex-wife and I were living. So I just didn't want to pay like $3,000 in fees. I'd rather move into an apartment that was a little bit more expensive. So it was a worthwhile trade-off, but I am definitely looking forward to moving out of this place so that I can save that money monthly, because I'm just at that point now where I just don't. I mean, this apartment's nice. It's not like it's a bad apartment. It's just a little expensive. So the reason I'm saying all that is because it'll allow me, basically October of this year, I'm hoping to be in a different apartment that is cheaper overall. It'll just depend on the availability at the time. I'm also hoping to have a photography / videography business underway. It'll be a very much part-time thing, because basically I'll have my full-time job at Metro Credit Union and obviously creating content here on YouTube about photography and videography and just vlogs in general of my life. And then my third thing that I'll be doing will be photography and videography, and actually trying to make some money with it eventually. That's not going to come for a while, and I'm good with that, but that's the goal. So green apples are better than red apples? I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, it really just depends on the circumstance for me, though, Todd. Green apples are great for, like, I love, like, if I'm going to have caramel with an apple, it's going to be a green apple, 100%. If I'm going to put apples in something, it's probably going to be a green apple, depending on what I'm making, I guess. But I would prefer a red apple to snack on, 100%. Like, if I'm just going to take a bite right out of an apple, it's going to be a red apple. But that's just me. What's up, Jesse? Good to see you. Hello. Thanks for tuning in. And thank you, all of you that are tuned in right now. Listen, if you haven't already taken the time to do so, please bless that like button for me. But seriously, if you don't like the streams, that's okay too. Just condemn this to the dislike button. I promise you I will still love you. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Share this live stream with your friends who could just use a community to be encouraged with. This community has grown a lot. I actually have been really just blown away at the growth. You know, once upon a time, I'd post a video and I'd get like 10 to 20 views on a video, and lately I've been getting 3 times that on almost every video that I post. So thank you for those of you that have been watching the videos, sharing them with your friends, whatever it may be. I appreciate it. I think last I checked, we're like 2 subscribers away from 300. We crossed 300, and I posted it to social media, and I'm pretty sure people that saw that just were like, oh wait, I don't actually really want to watch this guy. They went and unsubbed. So I went from 301 back down to 298. I'm honestly not bitter about it. That's just, it be like that sometimes, as the kids say. So sour apples are A1. Red apples to me don't really have flavor like a green apple. Oh, they don't. Red apples are much more bland. I would agree with that. But that's why I think for me, personally, I feel like I gotta have something with the green apple, because they're almost too much for me. But such is life, man, right? All allowed to have our own opinions. Honestly, though, guys, I just got to tell you, life has been good. I threw it out on Twitter, I think, this morning. My quality of life has just gone up so much in the last month or two. And I'm not talking about, like, owning things. I'm not talking about financially. But I definitely think that... I think it's just a mindset, man. God's really been helping me just receive, not achieve. That makes it sound like I'm working for it. He's been helping me to receive that peace that surpasses comprehension. And I got to tell you, that's been a tremendous blessing. It says 301 for you, does it? I guess I could look really quick. Last I looked before stream, like earlier today, I think it was 298. But maybe we did go back. What? Did 3 people subscribe? Well, did I miss something? Hang on, I'm going to go look at my stats. I swear to you it said 298 on my phone. Maybe my phone's behind. Nope. We do have a new subscriber recently. Mindfighter SMP. Oh. It's like a Minecraft person. Cool. Well, welcome. I don't know why I didn't get the sub alert, but thank you guys, those of you that have just subbed. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate you. Man. Yeah, that's crazy. Cross 300, boys. Thanks for telling me that, Todd. I appreciate it, man. What an encouragement, man. Thank you, thank you. Man, my Dr. Witnesser video is about to cross 100 views, dude. Crazy. Did you guys see that he decided to stop making content? For those of you that have been keeping up with all that. Crazy. Crazy, crazy. I'm glad, though. He needs to take some time and really, I hope that whatever he does next, that he can get discipled by some local folks. He needs some discipleship. He's just off the cuff, man. He's losing his mind as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, there's just been a lot, man, that has just been kind of weight lifted off my shoulders. I'll tell you, once this car is sold, once that's officially done and the loan's paid off, I will feel so much better. I promise you, I literally will not even care that I'm driving a car that's worth $1,000 to $2,000. Because that's obviously not a glorious car. Right? I mean, I recognize that. But man, just to be out of debt, I'd rather drive a crappy car. I just would. That's what I did. I mean, you guys got to understand, I drove a 2002 Ford Explorer 4x4, manual transmission, cruise control, and every time you drove it, you'd hear like this rattling, like a chain was rattling on the ground, and there was nothing wrong with it. I had it mechanically checked out. It just made that noise. Had 184,000 miles on it, and I drove that with no regrets. None. Didn't bother me a bit. So you just got to take care of your cars, man. So whatever I buy, I'm just going to take it to a mechanic and get it inspected and start making sure that I get it in really good mechanical shape and just roll forward, man. I'm really looking forward to that change. Because once the car, you guys have to understand, in full transparency, the car is my only debt, and I'm paying $275. It's over 270. I'm not actually sure. Less than 280, more than 270 a month. And that's just in the payment. The insurance will obviously go down because I won't need to carry full coverage insurance on a $1,000 to $2,000 car, right? Just the minimums to cover anybody else's hurt. You know, if I get in an accident, I get injured medically, or someone else gets injured medically. I mean, I want to make sure that's covered, but the car doesn't need to be covered. That's what I'm saying. Because they aren't going to give me much for it anyway. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man. I've been working on a project for Metro Credit Union for their annual meeting. I can kind of start talking about it a little bit more now. And today I met with the two people that are kind of, they're actually executives for Metro Credit Union, but the reality is they don't act like executives. They're really cool people. I love them both to pieces. They're great people. They got to see some of the stuff I've been working on, And just the fact that they were like, wow, that actually looks really good. That's great. We love that. Let's change this a little bit, but we do love what you're doing. Like, I love constructive feedback like that. I think it's one of the best opportunities to grow as a creative, is when less creative people look at you and go, that's not quite giving me the right message. And you go, as a creative, you have to go, okay, how do I then change what I'm doing to convey the message they're wanting to convey? So I've been truly, genuinely just soaking this opportunity in, man. It's been a huge blessing to me because I get to put my creativity out through YouTube, through photography and those kinds of things. But I also now get to do this within a corporate environment. Pretty cool. This probably isn't the best example, but it's better, and he put that in quotes, to total a $1,000 car instead of a $5,000 car. Facts, 100%. It's easier to replace a $1,000 car than a $5,000 car, right? Just the reality. So, but yeah, man, I cannot wait, guys. I also should mention, man, I need to find out if they're calling this anything, like if there's a name for this event. But anyway, actually, let me message Aaron really quick. I'll still tell you about it either way. I just have to know if they're calling it something or what. Let me shoot a message. Oh, that's not right. Hang on. Where are you at, Aaron? I know I've messaged you recently. Is there a name for the event? Or just a gathering? Just a general gathering. We'll call it that. So that way it doesn't sound like I'm like ungrateful for it. But let me tell you guys what's going on while I find out what the name of this thing is. If any of you guys are in or around the Fort Worth, Texas area in the middle of May, or can be or want to be, May 15th is a Saturday, and actually the mod squad and I will be renting a hotel, booking a hotel, staying in a hotel, however you phrase that, for the night of the 14th and the night of the 15th for the four of us. And we're going to an event that God Mode Activated is putting on. It's going to be a great time, man. Games, free food. And the event is completely free to show up. Just show up with an appetite and a desire to socialize with others, man, that are hardcore gamers and stuff like that. I would encourage you strongly. I would like to meet some of you guys, man. One of the kickers, even before the divorce, one of the reasons I wanted to move here specifically is because it put me more in the central US, so that if I wanted to go to a convention or meet people here in Springfield for a convention, it would be easier for people to travel. It would be easier for me to travel. So please, if you guys are at all available, May 15th, please, I'd love to meet some of you guys. There's no RSVP that I'm aware of at this point, but if you want some details, you can direct message me, or you can just let me know in the chat and I'll get a hold of you. But I just love to meet some of you guys, man. Some of you, messing with you. Honestly, I just love to meet you guys, man. So, nothing back from him yet. He may be busy, but not a huge issue either way. I'll let you guys know if there's like an official branding for it or anything, so you can know what the event is. But for right now, we'll just say it's an event. But I'm honestly so excited. So for those of you that don't know, we have technically 3 moderators. I haven't added Austin as a moderator for chat on YouTube because we just haven't needed it. But Kevin and Carl, or the Christian Ninja and Shadows Silenced. Christian Ninja is Carl, Shadows Silenced is Kevin. Those two guys have been my closest friends for a very long time. Austin and I, while we aren't close, I would still call him a very good friend. We don't know a lot about each other, but we both care about each other tremendously. I know that I'd do anything for the guy. He's a solid dude. So they all live. So Kevin lives up in Wisconsin. I won't say the city because I don't think he's comfortable with that, but he lives up in Wisconsin. Carl and Austin both live here in Missouri in different cities. And basically what we're going to do is Carl and Kevin and Austin and Kevin. So Kevin hasn't met either of the other two, obviously, vice versa. Austin and Carl have actually been friends longer than I've been friends with Carl. So they know each other, obviously, but Kevin has never met any of the other guys. And I'm so excited for that because they've all been gaming together now for couple of years, 2 or 3 years. That's pretty crazy. You know what I mean? So I think that's going to add to it for sure. We get to have a couple of nights just hanging out with the boys, right, in person. So that was something else I was going to do real quick while we're all just kind of hanging out and chilling. I'm going to look everything up on the CDC real quick. So for those of you that don't know, I'm a huge data nerd. I love learning about information and data, trends, those kinds of things, even if they aren't necessarily good trends. But I've been looking specifically at the state of Missouri for the cases. And we had a huge spike on the 8th, but that's because of a bad reporting error, which is still not good. But on March 8th, Missouri had 81,806 cases of COVID just in the state. That's what it looks like. But what it actually is I believe like 80,000 and change of that had not been reported. And for some reason, they just decided to slap it all in one day instead of figuring out which days those all belonged to and retroactively fixing that. But we went, so the prior day, I wish I could zoom in a little easier. The prior day we had 356 cases, and then afterward we had 747 cases. So it's clearly not a trend to be up in that higher amount, but we're doing really well as a state, case count wise, and the daily and the trend since January across the US and here in Missouri has dropped drastically versus where we were. So I'm really excited and hopeful about that. I am personally ready for the mask mandates to lift here in Missouri. So imagine being cousins with Austin. What's up, Dia Doyle? Good to see you, man. I forgot you and Austin are related. So yeah, it's pretty crazy, man. I'm really hopeful. I think it's April 9th is when the current COVID restrictions are set to expire in Springfield specifically, because Missouri's never had a statewide mandate of any kind. They've just kind of left it up to the counties and cities. So Springfield has had a mandate, I believe, since March of last year. They even quarantined pretty much everybody for a certain period of time. But yeah, I'm hopeful that if the cases stay as low as they are daily, that they will remove the mask mandates and see what happens. Because I'm just, especially as a bearded dude, let me tell you, I'm ready for the mask mandate to be over. I'm just over it. That's all. Yo, Shadeless, what's good, homie? Yes, some Rode mic action. That's actually the mic I've been using since I sold my old setup. Because I've had this mic for forever for like vlogging and stuff. I just usually have it on a boom hole off camera, like right about here. And it's just pointed like directly here. So it's like this far away, just barely outside of the frame. And I prefer that look. I don't actually like the mic being on camera as much, but obviously we get a nicer audio quality having the mic closer. So there's trade-offs. You know what I mean? It's good to see you, Shadeless. Apparently with an SH in front of she. Thanks for chilling, man. How's the streams been for you, man? I know you've been getting into Scum. I haven't really seen a lot of it, but I do know that's something you've been posting to Twitter a lot. So I just got a message here. I want to make sure it wasn't Aaron. Might have been Rachel. Oh, Rachel is on her lunch break, I'm assuming. Okay, cool. She is chilling. I don't know if she's chilling in the chat, but she's chilling. Straight up chilling. So let me know how your week was, guys. Obviously, since last week, if you guys had any cool updates or even bad stuff, is okay too. You're welcome to share that. I'd love to pray for you guys if you're going through some stuff. Share as many or as few details as you want with everything, man. But I would really like to know what's been going on in your world. And before any of you say, oh, I don't really do that much, so I'm just not going to say anything. Man, doing stuff is all a matter of perspective. What may seem small to me may be big to you. You know what I'm saying? So seriously, share it. Don't be ashamed to share it. I would love to just kind of celebrate your victories and pray for you and your difficulties, man. Drop in. Let me know what you guys have been doing. Todd, Jesse, D. Doyle, Shadeless. Man, any of you guys. Kendall, of course. I know Kendall's been going through quite a bit lately. Good things, too, though, recently, if I remember right. If my memory has served me well. Which, it may not have. Okay, I see. So that was the good news that I remembered. Kendall said, I'm definitely struggling with finding a different job. The job I did get offered is so much physical labor, and I don't think my body can handle it, sadly. For those of you that don't know, Kendall's actually been fairly open about this. She's had a fair amount of different physical issues throughout her life. So when she says her body can't handle it, it's probably correct. That is probably correct. So definitely be careful. She says, I'm torn between taking it and suffering for it, or not taking it and being eliminated soon. It's a really, really hard choice. She's also facing, for context, she's facing potentially losing the job that she currently has, just being laid off. I don't believe she's in any trouble. From what I understand, it's just that they won't be needing her position much longer. If I'm not mistaken, Kendall, do correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think you're in any trouble, though. I think your position is just being kind of taken out. So if you guys could be praying for Kendall, we're going to pray for her real quick. And if you guys are typing, continue typing. I'm just going to pray it up real quick. We'll leave it to God. God, I know that you are the great provider. Lord, I know that you can and are taking care of Kendall. And Lord, I just want to pray for her provision, Lord, that you would open up the door you want open for in regards to her employment. God, if there's a season of unemployment you're taking her through, I pray that you would show her her means of provision. God, I pray that you would show her the way that she can make money to sustain herself and where she's living. Lord, I pray for her relationship with the guy that she seems to be very fond of. I do pray that you would strengthen their relationship, that you would be the core of it so that they can allow you to strengthen that relationship. And I pray that they would submit to you in all things and that she would individually submit to you in everything in her life. In Christ's name. Amen, amen. Amen, amen. Listen, guys, it's just that easy. Kendall's been real vulnerable, and I want you to know, Kendall, I truly appreciate how vulnerable you've been with this community. I admire it. It's something that I aspire to do, is be vulnerable with you guys, tell you when I'm going through difficult things. I don't ever want you guys to think that I live this like perfect and blameless life and I never have any problems. I promise you. That could not be further from the truth. I struggle every day with lust. That's something I have to struggle with, and it's something that I think a lot of guys especially struggle with, but I know gals do too. I'm not trying to exclude you. So just know that, like, I'm certainly no better than anybody else. I'm just a guy. I'm a sinner saved by grace, man. It's plain and simple. Plain and simple. My sin's no different than yours. My sin is no better than yours. That's just where I'm at, man. Shadeless, welcome back, homie. How's things been, man? Have you been enjoying your scum life? For the record, I'm not calling Shadeless scum. It's a video game that he's been getting into. So, I have not played it, and I don't even really know too much about it. So, I just was wondering if you've been enjoying it. Oh, she tried to video call me. She probably forgot I was streaming. Let me tell her I am. But for real, guys, if there's something you guys go through throughout the week, man, and it's just, or you know somebody and you're just like, man, I wish I could just get gaming in the community, or Bearden in the community to be praying for this person or for me. Join our Discord. We do have a prayer request section, and it does get used from time to time, and I'm thrilled to death that I get the opportunity to pray for you guys. I can't fix all the problems in the world. I certainly can't, and I know that. I have limitations just like anybody else, but my God doesn't. I have no problem bringing those things before him, man. So, I'm going to ask you guys to pray for a coworker of mine. I'm not sure if I will say her name. I'm not sure if I want to do that. She recently moved to the Springfield area, her and her fiance, and yeah, I just think that they could use some prayer. I don't know if I'm going to go into too much more detail. She shared some stuff with me today that I just encouraged her with. So, could just use some prayer for her, man. I'm sure she would appreciate it. Chat still hates you. Does it really, Jesse? I know my comment isn't too long. I don't get it. If it's is it more than 200 characters? Because that's the limit. 200 characters is the limit according to what I can see. So if it's longer than 200 characters, that may be your problem. So, I don't know. Maybe you need to have like I don't know, some kind of a character counter. Just type and then go, okay, that's 200. Copy, paste, and then keep typing on that. Copy, paste. Type me a novel over like 80 messages. It was the same length as Kendall's comment, but hers showed up and mine did not. I wonder if hers is 200 characters. I wonder why it would be different. I'm just like researching because I don't know either. And I'd like to help you figure that out. Because I definitely want all of you to feel like you can chat. Character counter. Excuse me. Yeah, hers is 154 characters, so it was... Yeah, I don't know what's going on. That's really weird. I don't understand that at all. I may sound like a child, but I have become hooked on Among Us. There's nothing childish about Among Us. It's a funny game, but the mods some people have made, that's awesome. Oh, are there really cool mods for it? I didn't even know there was a mod community for that. That's cool. I wonder if it doesn't like my spelling. Maybe. I don't know. It's possible. Maybe you just need to have like a Word document pulled up so it can correct your spelling for you, and then you can just copy and paste it. It's like 7 Days to Die, but more PvP based, like DayZ. I never really got into DayZ either. But so it's like a survival game, but more PvP based. Scum. Interesting. That's pretty cool. Maybe when I get back into creating gaming content, I will bring that game up. But I just haven't been creating gaming content lately. I've been really enjoying using this other method, man. It's been really cool. Photography, videography, and vlogging has been a really interesting, like, niche combo. Lol, I've done that before. Have you really? Pulled up like a Word document and used it to help fix your spelling? That's awesome. You could also just get Grammarly. I think that's a browser extension, depending on what browser you're using. I think they have it for Mozilla and Chrome. If you're using Edge, I'm sorry. No, I'm just messing with you guys. Kendall said, oh heck, I will hook you up with that. I'm assuming she's talking about the mod stuff for Among Us. On my break at work, I sit down and watch those videos while I eat. Can we get a community game night for that? I'm so down. That would be kind of fun. Do like a community Among Us night every week or something. Let me get done with this project for Metro, because that'll open up a lot more of my time. And we might do that. That would be kind of fun. Does Grammarly cost money? I thought it was free. Is it expensive? No, it's free. What do you mean? Huh? Kendall, what you mean you're too broke? That's like a meme. I'm too broke for something that's free. I'm so broke I can't afford free. Smile. There's a lot of people in the community that I feel like I know that, like Steven, Jesse, there's a couple other people that are in the community as well that I know if I said, hey, we're going to do a community night for Among Us, are you down? Like, people would be in, dude, 100%. Oh, rest in peace, my brain is toast, okay? Writing a 10-page research log is not for the faint of heart. Yeah, that doesn't sound like a good time. That does not sound like a vibe, as the kids say. Is it like free at first, but then it costs stuff later? I don't think so. Maybe it does, but I've always understood it was a free extension, because I know a lot of like computers at work at my job have it, but I mean, it's not like they couldn't spend the money for it too. But obviously you work in a bank and not everybody has really good grammar capability or spelling capabilities, so when you're typing out an email or whatever, it's helpful. Gosh, guys, I'm just like right now, I'm just kind of like reflecting, thinking about my life 3 years ago. So 3 years ago would have been 2018, single, hadn't been married yet, which I think it was a good season. I had been live streaming on Twitch for about 2 months. Was still streaming for like 2 hours a night, 5 days a week. Working in radio. Huh. And now I'm doing something that I love. Making really decent money. Have a 9-to-5 job. It's kind of fun to reflect on where God's brought you from, you know? Where he's brought you out of. Because at the time I was also massively in debt. Comparatively to where I am now, it was even more so. Ended up totaling the car. Obviously not on purpose, just to be clear. But I ended up totaling the car, which took care of my debt. And I hadn't been in debt between then, which would have been like May of 2018, I think is when I ended up totaling that car. Fast forward to end of last year, that was the first time I had another loan. I hadn't had a loan in that long. It's crazy. It was only 119 characters, but it didn't show up. I can't make one more than one sentence long, I guess. Come play with me. It's chill, unless random folks show up to your base. I'll have to look into it, Shadeless. I will look into it. I will. If I get some more time, especially, I'm gonna have to wait to try out a lot of new stuff until after April 15th, because that's when the project is done for Metro. So the only problem is I don't want to spam the message one word at a time, because it'll kick me if I do that. That's true. It will do that. Well, I'll tell you what, Jesse. If the computers hate you so much, just shoot me a Discord message and just tell me in chat, I sent you a message on Discord. I hope it'll at least let you send that. All right, phone's back up to 100% battery. Love to see it. Go ahead and unlock the phone here. Did any of you guys get to see NF's new song today? It was lit. It was so good. Hang on. No. Gosh, I literally do miss my iPhone sometimes because it was so much better at the predictive text. That is not what they are calling it, Aaron. Are you serious? Hang on. This, the convention thing I was telling you guys about that I'm going to in May, that Fire Resistant Podcast and God Mode Activated they're putting on. I asked Ern from Fire Resistant if that's what they are calling it or if it has any official name for it. And he goes, Squirrel Con, as in like the squirrels that you see in trees. Squirrel Con. For those of you that don't know, Fire Resistant Podcasts, they're kind of a fan of squirrels. So I thought that was kind of funny. I thought Lit was YB. That's true. He does have songs literally called Fire Emoji. But no. NF is also lit. They are not mutually exclusive. NF's song today, I think it's called Lost. featuring Hobson. Hobson was the first one that I could think of that actually, like, I don't know that he's done a lot of features on his songs. NF hasn't, but Hobson matched NF's flow so well. He did a great job. Absolutely crushed it. NF, great song as well. I got to listen to it a few more times, get all the lyrics right. But man, great message. Great message from what I've been able to pick up on it already. Essentially what I understood was that your burdens can bring you to a place where you feel lost, and that you got to deal with your burdens so you don't get to that place. That's what I've understood so far, but I could be totally off because I only listened to it like twice. Also, for those of you that are hardcore weebs, you know, anime nerds, whatever you want to call yourselves, I just got into anime, started with Attack on Titan. I believe I'm on episode 7. Halfway through episode 7. It's a beautiful thing. Holy crap. I am loving it. Dudes, I have been enjoying it so much. Like, you may not fully understand just how much I'm enjoying it. It's so good. So good. Crazy. But no one, like, throughout my entire, like, childhood as a nerd, no one told me, hey, David, you're a nerd. You should try out anime. And I'm like, oh, I could try out anime. I could do that. No one even bothered to tell me that anime existed. I'm not triggered, chat. I'm fine, just for the record. Is Steven into Attack on Titan? I didn't even know he was into anime. See, this is what I'm talking about. Why are anime nerds so quiet about being anime nerds? Are they, like, ashamed of it? Oh, Jesse, you can watch it for free on Crunchyroll. It doesn't. I don't pay for any subscription services right now. I can't afford to. So that's one of the bigger reasons I've been really excited about it. It's something I can watch that's not YouTube and it's an actual show. So, if you don't know what Crunchyroll is, it's a totally legitimate website. They pay for it by using advertisements on the videos and stuff, but it's not too much to me anyway. It seems like it's a reasonable. So, well, I'm actually surprised you haven't watched it before. Yeah, I had no idea it existed. Like, for the most part. I mean, I knew that anime existed, but like, I didn't. No one ever tried to sell me on getting into it. Do you guys watch anime all the time? Oh, wow. Yeah, at this point, I'm getting into. So I'll do Attack on Titan, which I just found out it actually has, I believe, 4 seasons. 4? I don't know exactly how many, but either way, whichever season they just finished is the very last one. And then I'm going to get into Demon Slayer, Tokyo Ghoul, and then I've been told that something Alchemist, Brotherhood. Full Metal Alchemist. There we go. I had to remember what it was called. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. In that order. I'm going to do those 4. Yeah, Steven and I watch anime all the time. I think it is a bit of that embarrassing, since anime fans can be a bit weird. Can they? I didn't know that. I mean, I haven't met enough of them to know, I guess, so not really a stigma I would want to associate with. Yeah. That's fair. I just don't, I guess, like, for me, like, I just don't care what people think about me. My favorite anime ever is Fairy Tail. It's actually one of my favorite shows ever. That's cool. Maybe I'll have to do that one after Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. When you guys see me next week on stream, I'll have had my hair and beard trimmed for the first time in 6 weeks. I'm excited for that. By the way, I have a huge amount of respect for you and Rach. Y'all too cute. Makes my heart happy. Aw, Kendall, I appreciate the kind words. That's very kind of you to say. Thank you. It really does mean a lot. Appreciate that a lot. She's a really sweet lady. I am definitely blessed by her in general, but especially with Rachel. the thing that really blows me away is that as a guy who's recently gone through a divorce, I end up talking about it because it's healthy to just acknowledge it and talk about it. And I don't talk about the marriage. I talk about the things that I've been dealing with, right? And she has never one time batted an eye. She listens. She genuinely cares. So refreshing, man. It really is. She genuinely cares about my interests as well. It's very inspiring because I care about her interests, but I'm not very good at showing it. She's incredibly good at showing that she actually cares about what I want to do. She keeps up with me, holds me accountable, with all my financial goals and stuff that she knows all the details of. She'll be like, did you really need to buy that pizza? Because, that's just one thing that's going to slow you down from getting to your financial goals. And, she does it in a way that doesn't come across as condescending or condemning. She does it in a very loving and caring way, man. And that, I got to tell you, that's refreshing. It's really good. She's a very, very sweet gal, and I am tremendously blessed to be able to call her my girlfriend. Sweet gal. Fairy Tail is 5 seasons. Well, I think Attack on Titan's 4. I think. I know there's 70 plus episodes that are all 20 minutes long. I'm still getting into that 'cause it's worth it. Rachel she truly is an awesome person, guys. She really is. So, yeah, she really is an awesome person. And here's some transparency for you guys. Whenever I talk about Rachel and I talk about her being an incredible person, I reflect back to when I was still married to Morgan, and I talked about her on stream. Right, I would refer to her as my incredible wife. I would speak highly of her, and it's not that she was a horrible person at all, because she really wasn't. Genuinely, I'm not just saying that. Things ended in a way that I have some bitterness towards her that I'm working through, but that's on me. Bitterness is not something that is her problem to deal with. It's mine. But I can definitely tell you that there were times when I was talking about Morgan in a positive light where I had to force it. A lot of it was just a forced lingo that happened within the church that I was going to as well. The church I was going to, I think, was very unhealthy in that way. I never really recognized it that way, but whenever the husbands would speak of their wives, they wouldn't. Number one thing I noticed in reflection is they never referred to them by their name. My beautiful bride, my wonderful wife. I don't know why they have to be phonetically sounding right, but anyway, there's nothing wrong with referring to your wife or husband in an affectionate way. But when you never use their name, it almost comes across like you subconsciously think you own them. And it was just unhealthy. It was just really unhealthy. So, yeah, and just reflecting on that, by reflecting on that though, I get to look back at Rachel now, and I get to look at her, and I get to tell you guys about her, right? I get to tell you about her genuine love for her son, number one. For those of you that don't know, Rachel, crazy important. There's 2 things I'm going to share with you real quick. It's going to be back to back, all right? So I really don't know. I turn 25 next week. I don't celebrate my birthday for the most part. Rachel is not having any of that. Apparently I have to celebrate it, but I haven't celebrated my birthday for the most part since I turned 21. When I turned 21, I went out to a bar, a couple of pubs, bought my first legal drinks, right? And, but other than that, since then, it's just kind of not much of a point to me. I just don't care, right? But Rachel's not having any of that. But what's important, so I turned 25 on March 16th. She turns 19 on March 17th. We're literally almost 6 years apart. Not quite. We are a day off, but we're almost 6 years apart. And so it's kind of an interesting thing. But Rachel has a 1-year-old. His name is Arthur. Something kind of ironic, and this was in a way Not a big deal, but something that kind of confirmed to me that this was a good relationship. And I believe it's the one that God intended for us to be in this whole time. Her son's middle name is David. She doesn't... Pretty crazy. First name's Arthur. Incredible guy. He's getting to the point now when I video call with Rachel, because we don't actually spend a lot of time in person together right now just because of our schedules. I intentionally set aside Saturdays after she's off work to spend together. That's really important to me. But anytime I video call, she and I'll start talking, and he'll say "da." I don't think he's saying "dad." I think he's actually trying to say my name, but maybe he is. I don't know. And he'll run over and he'll sit in her lap and he'll just point. He'll be like, "da." And for me, man, that just melts my heart. It's melting my heart right now. I ain't gonna lie to you. And it's just so crazy to be able to have that much of an impact on someone who's known me for a few months. So it's also very humbling because I don't want to hurt him or her in any way. So I'm doing everything I can to be cautious. But anyway, Rachel has a love for her son that is just unreal, you know? Batteries just died on the headphones. She just like, she has that mama, she has that mom vibe, you know what I mean? Where she's just like, she has like superpowers, I swear to you. She's insanely caring. She has an abundance of patience, and she lives at home with her parents, and her parents help her a lot with Arthur, and so do her sisters and her brother before he moved out on his own recently. Her family is incredibly supportive. So yeah, she's really just an incredible lady, man. And little Arthur can definitely tell that he's loved. So it's just cool, man. Just cool. Your parents are 5 years apart, Jesse? Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, and I know of a couple that I won't call them out because they're part of this community, but I know of a couple that are many years more than 5 years apart. So, and they're very happily married. Age is not everything. It is something, though. Something to be aware of. That is too sweet. All this talk about Arthur may give me baby fever, but I'm always off. I'm a little ways off from that. Oh, I missed a couple words there. Don't rush that for sure. Nathan, what's going on, buddy? Thanks for tuning in for a little bit, man. I really appreciate you, dude. Thank you. For those of you that have been here since the beginning of the stream, especially, you guys have taken a lot of time out of your day. Thank you. Interesting thoughts. Thanks, Shadeless. Appreciate it, man. But yeah, my mind has just been plagued with a lot up until recently, and God's just been, through the Holy Spirit, just been setting me free, and I've been reading through the Word. I've been reading through a chapter of Daniel and a chapter of Proverbs every day. My personal goal is to read a chapter of Proverbs every day for the rest of my life, because you're always the Word promises to never return void. So regardless if you read the same passages over and over, you're going to learn something. Now, am I saying that's all I'm going to read for the rest of my life? No. I'll add to it and study the rest of the Word too. Don't get me wrong. It's very unhealthy to just read one book of the Bible the rest of your life as a Christian. You got to grow. You got to grow past that. But the reason I'm going through Daniel's a great book, don't get me wrong. But the reason I'm doing that is actually on Friday nights, I go to a young adults group, and they are starting a Bible study through Daniel. But what I like about what they're doing is they aren't just reading it together. They're encouraging those that show up to the group to read the passages on their own and to come back on Friday and to contribute to the conversation. I think that's so healthy, because I think that's important. A part of being in the churches, Shadeless, for instance, may read a passage that I read, and he gets something completely different out of it than I do. Are either of us wrong? Not necessarily. I mean, we have to be careful that we aren't going outside the context of the passage, right? But he's going to have a different viewpoint than I do, and that's healthy to challenge that in the faith, especially. So I'm really excited to see how this goes. Kendall says, age is not everything. I so agree. My man and I may get married young, but if it's in God's will for it to be at a younger age, his plan and his will not be thwarted. Hey, fair enough. That's fair. So glad to hear that. It makes me happy when my friends are happy. Hey, thanks, Jesse. Thanks for just being supportive. I really do appreciate that a lot. Thank you. Yeah, you all have been... This community has been so supportive of me, man. We've also lost people in the community, don't get me wrong, because of some of the decisions that I've made. But that's okay. Not everybody's going to be part of this community. That's okay. This community isn't built for everybody. It's built for those who are genuinely wanting to be part of something where people can care about each other, love on each other, and genuinely live out the motto of this community that life is difficult. You shouldn't do it alone. Finding Christ is important. Number one, find Christ, find friendship, and find community. Those are the responses to going through life without being alone. With Christ, you're never alone. With friendship, you have people who you can call when things get difficult in life. And with community, you can participate in life with a community. It's incredible. It's incredible. And I can never overstate the value of those three things, ever. And in that order, by the way. In that order. Ugh. Yeah, Todd, I know that for sure. And there's several people like yourself who are not necessarily religious or have a faith of any kind. But that's why that motto is in that order, right? Finding Christ is going to be the number one thing I recommend to every single person I talk to in my life, because Christ has changed my life in so many ways that I would never want to hold that back from anybody. Friends in my life have been second to Christ in that way. They've been so helpful in my life when things have gotten rough. And when I didn't have friends that were available when I needed them, having a community of people that I could just reach out to, it was huge, man. So it's from life experience that I say those things. It's not just a random thing I came up with. It's genuine heartbreak that I've experienced throughout my life, that those three things in that order have helped me deal with it. So, right on. River, what's good, homie? Good to see you, man. Thanks for taking a couple minutes out your day and coming by. I really appreciate that, dude. Jesse said, it's my biggest thing about getting married. I really can't wait to be a supportive wife. Man, can I tell you, Jesse, that's such a cool trait. Good for you. That's awesome. I think that if anybody desires to be married, they desire a good thing, number one. But I think that if you're willing, if your desire in marriage is to serve your significant other, regardless if you are a guy or a gal, if your desire genuinely is to serve the other person from a place of love, you're ready. That's my opinion. Take that for what it's worth. And I want to make that very clear. That's my opinion. But if you're willing to serve and die to yourself every single day, genuinely, you're not gonna be perfect. There's gonna be days where you make mistakes. But if that's what you enter into a marriage with in your mind, you're ready. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. Take it for what it's worth. That is just my opinion. Listen, guys, it's that time, man. Unfortunately, it is that time where I'm going to end the stream. I appreciate all of you guys that have been chilling throughout this last hour together, man. I'm genuinely grateful. I'm going to hang out in the Discord for a little bit after stream. May not be here for a while, but I'm going to work on a project. And if you guys want to hang out in a voice channel with me, I'll hop in and hang out with you guys. It's going to be very chill. I might play some video games tonight. It just depends. I've got a couple things I need to get done before I take that time to just relax. So I want to make sure that I get to my responsibilities done. Dang it, being an adult sucks. But got to do it right. Got to do it. Again, thank you for hanging out with me despite the scuffed audio. I appreciate you guys tremendously. Cannot wait to see you guys next week. If you guys want to engage with me throughout the week, make sure you follow me on Instagram or Twitter, or you can join our Discord. All of the information for all those things is in the live stream description below. And until next week, this is Bearden for Hope, signing off. I'll see you guys next week.